Good morning. We're going to read Psalm 134 this morning. Come, bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made heaven and earth. It's not a very long psalm, is it? It's kind of a call to worship. Come, let's worship God. Bless the Lord. Raise your hands and bless the Lord. Um, different churches have different habits. And in some churches, you raise your hands. In other churches, you would never raise your hands. I knew a woman vaguely one time. I didn't know her well, but I knew her daughter. And her daughter told me that, yeah, my mama grew up in a kind of a Pentecostal church across the river, and they were always raising their hands and singing out loud and stuff. And then my mother married my father and came to his church, which was the church we were a part of, Presbyterian church. Nobody ever raised their hands. Nobody ever sang except out of the hymn book. And the woman said, I have found my people. And she became a Presbyterian. So, excuse me, some of the different behaviors that we see in churches, the styles, some of it's learned, and some of it simply is a matter of personality. You get a handful of Presbyterians and ask them to raise their hands, and they don't know what to do. You get a handful of Pentecostals, and their hands are in the air. So it's just a matter of style. But here the psalmist says, lift up your hands to the holy place. Bless the Lord. And may the Lord bless you, the one who made heaven and earth. Bless you from Zion. So good. You worship God and he's going to bless you. As a friend of mine said one time many years ago, God does bless us, sometimes financially, sometimes in other ways. And that's the way that he dealt with the prosperity gospel people who would say, well, if you're not getting checks in the mail, then God's not blessing you. And that's just frankly ridiculous, and goes against the teaching of all the church and all the martyrs for all the centuries. So don't believe any of that and don't let it bother you. But God does work to bless us, to take care of us. We don't always have the eyeballs to see it. I remember a friend of mine who said that when he was in seminary, it was a preaching class. And in preaching classes, you take turns and you get up and you preach a sermon. Every week you hear a couple sermons and professor critiques them. The speech people critique your delivery, and then the classmates try to make you feel good. And it's a daunting thing. Well, this guy said that he went to the professor and said, you keep giving these people A's, but I'm not hearing good sermons. And the professor said, is it that these are C+ sermons, or do you have C+ ears? Are your ears really tuned in to what they should be listening for, or are you listening for the wrong things? And I noticed that sometimes in seminary chapel, everybody would come in there and people would get up to preach, and they would have to really do all their homework and show it, because if you didn't, people would, the whole audience is critical. Everybody's going, well, where'd you get that from? And, did you do your exegesis right? And blah, 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 blah. And it was just very hard for anybody to get up and say anything spiritually meaningful, because all these people had all these filters going on and critiquing you. So the psalm here says, bless the Lord, lift up your hands, and may the Lord bless you. And that will all happen if you can get all those filters and all the critique and everything out of the way, and just pay attention to what God is doing and saying. And I hope you could do that today. I hope you could pay attention. Psalm 135 tomorrow is only 150, so we're in sight of the end. So, hang in there and we'll finish the Psalms. And have a great day.